And I'm starting very, very general. We don't want to be drawing all this subtlety of the face if we haven't placed anything yet. We want to just start really loose and general. So I want to show where the top of her head is and where the bottom of the chin is. Can show the jawline here, the neck. And then the ear placement. Okay.
Starting very gesturally, you're not like taking the proportion of the, like how wide the face is versus how long it is.
Yeah, so if you have proportional issues, they're going to get resolved at this stage. So now I'm going to start setting in the features very slowly, and if there's anything that needs to be adjusted on the face, I can do that after. So I'm going to do the center line of the face, and now I'm going to just start very much like you started with the Loomis drawing. I'm just going to put in the general proportions. This is the brow. I'm going to write brow here so you don't forget. When I'm putting in this line, that's the brow. I'm observing the drawing. I'm looking at the drawing. This is about the bottom of the nose and the lips. Okay? Now I'm going to start putting in the rhythm chart. Okay? So we're going to start from the top. The top is the cranium. Nice and soft. There's the cranium. Next is the nasal bone. This oval. Orbicularis oris. And the semicircle for the chin. Then I want to remember the exact sequence. Then it's the nose to the brow. So the way I typically do this, you can see very clearly on this drawing, the tip of her nose is like a little sphere. And that's pure cartilage. You can go like this to your nose. It's pure cartilage. So what I like to do is I give myself a little sphere for the tip of that nose, and then I go alongside and up and into the brows. Like so. All right. Now I'm going to add the eyes, the eyeball. And a trick for this, typically you can see where the top of the eye is because of the eyelid. So she actually kind of has a hooded eye here, but you can see it very, very clearly on this eye, this upper fold. That is the top of the eyeball right here. So that takes some practice, just understanding the size of the eyeball. There's that. And then we have the zygomatic arch. So center of the chin, top of the ear, and you're going to go over and across. For the opposite side, we just kind of have to envision. We know where the ear level is, so if we know where the level is, that's enough. And we can just shoot over like that. All right? So this is not the drawing. I want to make that very, very, very clear. What I've done so far, I mean, we can't give this to someone and say, oh, look what I did. I want to put it on my fridge. Like, no. There's nothing really here yet. But I have my proportions, and I have the entire frame for the structure. So now I'm going to start drawing. I'm going to show you how this comes together. Just on a side note, we'll practice this today, but next week is the week we're going to go into individual features and how to draw them, just so we don't get too ahead of ourselves. All right, so I'm going to show you now. Here I'm going to start with the eye. This sphere, this little eyeball here is a sphere. And all I need to do now is wrap the eyelid around. I'm going to do it over here as well. Look how beautiful this drawing is. Look at this beautiful curve, see? That's the eyeball protruding. Give her some iris. Okay, see how that's slowly coming there? Now let's go to the nose. She's kind of tilted up. I think I'm going to have to change that because I didn't draw the proper angle here. Lips. I'm going to do the brows first. Brows, that's the top of the eye socket. Lips. Top of the chin, excuse me. And now I'm going to adjust this a little bit, bring this in. Okay, so kind of a crude drawing, but you can see that the features are going to start setting in now. Here's her hairline, kind of doing this. Now, here come the cheekbones. All right, so I have this arch here. And you can see on the drawing, see how this subtly comes out here? That, oh, how practical, it's the same angle more or less. That is the edge of the zygomatic arch. So I'm going to draw that accordingly. It's going to come out a little bit and move down into the mandible. And now let's put in a little bit of shadow. Let's just see the potential. Lynn was asking about that earlier, right? She was asking about shading. So I'm going to do the shade a little bit different from this drawing. Let's say I have a light source from above. Where all these lines are crossing over, like here is the coarse shadow under the brow, for instance. And there'd be maybe some softer shadow coming down around the nose, maybe a cast shadow here. upper lip is darker. Under the chin. And then you'd have a softer core shadow going around here. So this little core shadow, that's the eyeball. If you've ever tried to paint this area and it's really difficult to paint, to get that shadow properly. Ugh. Here, let's see, this would be kind of like, and then there'd be a little bit of core shadow down in here if the light's really high. And a cast core on the neck. Here's the hair. Okay, so that's a really, really fast demonstration of this chart in action. But you can see I was just able to even now drop in core cast shadows because I understand the form. This drawing, both drawings are very structured. You know, in comparison to the drawing I did first, that was just placing things. It was very graphical. But now it's starting to have structure. All right? So what we're going to do first is we're going to do some tracings. We're going to trace this rhythm chart on top of, we got master drawings and we have magazines to work with, okay? All right, I'm going to hit pause here.